Yami Sukehiro is known for being the buff badass of Black Clover, pairing the power of his physical strength with his immense dark magic, his key sensing abilities, and the preciseness of his katana. He even has the ability to slice through dimensions when he combines all of these things. In my opinion, he is by far one of the strongest characters in Shonen Jump right now, possibly even someone who might be able to take down the immeasurable power of Satoru Gojo.
But can he beat Goku though?
Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Broku. Today we're talking about Yami Sukehiro from Black Clover, one of my favorite characters, probably my second favorite in the series, and man, he's strong. Can we get our boy Yami 3,000 likes for this video? We did 1,000 like goals, we did 1,500 like goals, we've done 2,000 like goals. Now this is Yami Sukehiro. This is the buff Chad of Black Clover. He's the buff Chad of Manga. Can we get him 3,000 likes? Let's do this, guys. And I'm going to say this, is that this video would be really hard to do, like this hypothetical one I'm about to say, is Yami Sukehiro versus Satoru Gojo. What do you guys think about that? No, if this video does hit 5,000 likes, if you guys do 5,000, this is not going to happen, but if you guys do it, I will do Yami versus Gojo. Now, I'll probably do it in the future anyways, maybe, but it'll be in the very near future if you guys get 5,000 likes on it. Now, guys, we surpassed 50,000 subscribers at least, so thank you guys so much for that. Building the community. Now, my goal, guys, is to get 100,000 by the end of the year. Now, we're on set to pass that, because can we blow it up even further? Best girl, Miriona, her birthday, July 26th. Your boy Broku, his birthday is July 26th. Can we get 100,000 subscribers by best girl, Miriona, and best man, Broku's birthday, July 26th? We could do that. It's possible. Now, how strong is Yami? He is broken, but not as broken as you smashing the like and subscribe button. But anyways, I think what is always a good starting point for versus battles, or when you scale a character, is using speed, as it is important, because what is the point of having all the power in the world if you can't even hit your opponent? Now, our boy Yami is incredibly fast, even though apparently, dark magic is supposed to be slow, and that is why some people will downplay him to be slower than light, because base light magic in Black Clover is light speed, and if dark magic is considered slow, then it can't be light speed or faster, but that really is nonsense. Yami, at least at the time of the Witch's Forest arc, actually had superior physical stats compared to base Asta. Base Asta were able to fight and survive an attack from Spirit Ladros, who surpassed the Fire Spirit, and fight Third Eye Fauna, who is beyond that of Potri, and Potri is already faster than light, as he uses light magic, which is base light speed, and then it stated he went even faster with it. So Yami, of course, has a lot of magic power to go on top of his base stats. Remember, his base physical stats surpass that of Asta, according to Bada. Then he has mana that goes on top of that. So that means he is much, much, much above and already faster than light Asta. As for speed, Yami in the Elven arc scales to Black Asta, since they were both able to parry Storm of Blades from Zagred. Now, this is important because base Asta scales to thousands of times the speed of light, since he was many times more faster than Miriona's attacks against Raya, which have been calculated to be over 320 times the speed of light. This is because, like I said, base light magic is light speed, as there is multiple statements for this in the manga, and according to the Versus Battle Wiki, if it fits the multiple criteria to be light speed, then it will be light speed. And it can get faster because it's powered by mana, a supernatural source of energy. Now, there have been recent attempts to debunk light speed metas in the Black Clover universe, and this is because of the introduction of true magic, which is using the real elements that reside in nature, which is said to be more powerful, faster than base elements. People say this debunks the faster than light meta, because, for example, Luck, who, according to a lot of different feats and scaling, is faster than light, he used true lightning magic. And people say since he used true, real lightning magic, that means he is only lightning speed. And that is actually false, as is even stated by Gaja, who introduced us to true magic, that the reason why true magic is so strong is because of the mana of nature. Mana resides in everything in Black Clover. So in reality, true magic is not stronger than base magic because it is just natural without magic. It is stronger than base magic because it would have more mana in it because you'd be using nature's mana. It essentially just follows how exactly Mana Zone works, or not exactly, but similar, except to an even higher degree, because Mana Zone borrows nature's mana from the area to make you stronger. So true magic is using nature's mana in the real elements, because essentially nature is stronger than magic, but the nature still has mana, which is the energy for magic inside of it. So now also, if you want to say that Black Clover characters aren't light speed because it is absurd, well, that's a logical fallacy, and if you just think about it, light speed isn't even that impressive compared to Dante creating black holes, because black holes eat and basically destroy light, or it's Dorothy who created an infinite universe with her glamour world. So, is it really that crazy for there to be light speed or faster than light when you have people creating infinite universes or creating black holes which just smother and just sucks in and destroys light? So, with that being said, base Asta moved easily tens of times faster than that attack from Mereoleona, which makes Asta thousands of times faster than the speed of light in his base form, and he can use his black form on top of it, which is a many times multiplier since it is a parallel to Yuno's Spirit Dive, and Spirit Dive is stated to be a many times multiplier in the guidebook on top of his base power, not even his base power, his power with Mana Skin and his power with Bell. Now this makes Yami thousands of times the speed of light, and he gets way stronger than this as he has a 6 months training time skip, making his base much stronger from the Elf Arc. And he also masters Mana Zone, which according to the guidebook is a many times multiplier. And we know that just his base form has gotten many, many times stronger from the time skip, as during the canon anime filler, the captains had a massive face-off to prepare for the Devil Spade arc. And this face-off, Yami would be sucked into Dorothy's realm glamour world, as to which she summoned over 13 pre-time skip Yamis, and he was fighting all of them at once while he was falling asleep. Keep in mind that this isn't even Yami at the end of the time skip. This is in the middle of it. So the Yami that shows up to fight Dante is actually even stronger than this one. And then while Yami faces off against a 60% Dante who can blitz Berserk Asta, this Berserk Asta who would casually curb stomps like red, and then Dante reveals he can go 80%, and Yami reveals he hasn't even been going all out either. So this Yami here is nothing compared to the Yami that we see fight Dante. Now, if we assume low-ball-based Asta being only 10 times faster than that Mereoleona attack, and Yami scales above him, and we assume Yami is now 13 times stronger and faster in the post-time skip, and that's because he's fighting 13 older versions of himself while falling asleep, and this isn't even his full power by the time he fights Dante, then he uses a 4 times multiplier for Mana Zone. This puts a suppressed Yami at over 150,000 times the speed of light as a low ball.
Speed. I am speed.
This could be scaled to be much higher, and it isn't, I guess, actually an exact calculation. It just, I guess, gives a range for his speed, because it is a bit of an assumption to say that he's 13 times stronger and stuff like that, but it's also, I'm lowballing stuff still. Because again, he's fighting 13 versions of himself while falling asleep, and he is still holding his own. But either way, Yami should be in the massively faster than light plus tier, and it's kind of irrelevant to go any higher, though there is actually an argument that he might have infinite attack speed with a certain attack, but I'll go into that later, as it revolves around a different feat, and that'll be more for his non-speed abilities or stats. Now, other things for Yami is he has really advanced senses because he uses Ki, which is like a 6th sense precognition that uses life energy instead of magic. People in Black Clover use mana to sense other people, and then Mana Zone is a technique which drastically amplifies sensory abilities. Thus, when Yami pairs his Ki with Mana Zone, he is pretty much unmatched to senses in the verse. The only person who outdoes Yami in terms of sensory abilities is the Wizard King, and that is because he actually has time magic and just straight up senses the flow of time of mana in the future. So it is even really fair to compare, I guess, in that way. It really only makes sense that Yami's sensory abilities are only outmatched due to time manipulation. Now, next to cover with Yami will be his attack potency, striking strength, and durability. After this, we'll go through his other abilities and his myriad of abilities that expand past his baseline durability and power. Now, Yami has used punches, regular non-spell strikes with his katana. Remember, this is his superhuman strength paired with his dark magic. So this isn't just a regular katana. He is using his physical strength, his ki, and he's imbuing it with his mana to make it much stronger. But he can also use the dark magic to essentially extend the reach of his blade, and these are called lightless slashes, and he has various variations of these. Even in the very beginning of the series, when it comes to how strong Yami is, he could easily be casually mountain level, as he is above his rival Jack the Ripper, who can slice away mountains, and that was stated to be a past occurrence, that when they fought, Jack shaved off a mountain. And that's in the past, so that would make Yami at above mountain level. And again, he only gets vastly stronger over the course of the series and breaks his limits again and again. Now, it is even stated by the guidebook that the fire spirit salamander can vaporize an ocean with a swipe of its talon, which is calculated to be at least a country level feat, some even higher, and Yami would tank an attack from the spirit plus Fauna's power with the power of his Black Cocoon spell. Yami was also able to damage the Word Devil quite easily. The Word Devil, who has more magic power than that of Licht, who should easily be country level. Now, it is important to note that just being arcane doesn't mean you just auto-defeat a devil. You still have to have enough attack potency to kill it, but it just means you can actually have the ability to kill it if you do have the damage to do it. So Yami scales to Zagred since he was able to damage him, and Zagred is country level, at least according to multiple calculations, but it gets even crazier from here on out as the Black Clover time skip really hits different. As when Yami fights against Dante, the Devil Host, who is the top devil in Lucifero and has gravity magic, with his gravity magic, he can warp space to teleport himself and his attacks, and can even warp space to create black holes. Now, it is important to note that a black hole the size of a coin has the mass of the Earth, and you can easily fit dozens of coins within Dante's black hole. This could easily get him to planetary levels, or even higher. Now, if you don't want to buy that Dante is planet level, well, we know that he is at least equal to Vanica, who is above the massive Monozone method spell from Lord Pachika. This feat alone has been calculated to be a multi-continental level feat used on a non-full power Vanica. And even crazier is that just the explosion from the 50% Dark Disciples that were Vanikas, that has been calculated to be a multi-continental level feat. Remember, they are using just a small portion of Vanika's power. So if a small portion of Vanika's power is multi-continental, then it could add up that Dante is actually planet level or far above that based on that. You might think this sounds crazy, but and when I say crazy, that it sounds crazy for Lord Pachika to be multi-continental. But if Mereoleona is this strong with her Monozone, fighting Raya, Monozone, hers, is just essentially borrowing nature from a rune. Imagine how strong a Monozone would be if you took mana from an entire country. Because that's what Lord Pachika is doing. She's taking mana, an entire country's worth of mana. So if Mereoleona is that strong with a room full of mana, imagine Lord Pachika with a country full of mana. So it makes sense that she could be multi-continental, and that would add up to make sense that Dante is planet level. Now, people will say that black holes, at least Dante's, can't be real because it didn't completely destroy the Earth like it should have. But that's because, again, it's under Dante's control. These are mages manipulating the elements to do what they want them to do. Dante doesn't want to just destroy the world. He wants to bring about malice within it by summoning in an army of devils. In fact, there's even some foreshadowing that the world might not even end under the Cliff-Off Devils, maybe just be ruled by them to create despair, as Vanica says she wants to live in a world alongside people who are strong enough to survive it. And so, Dante not destroying the planet with his black hole, it can be explained away by he doesn't want to destroy the planet. He's controlling the attack so that its range doesn't destroy everything. He's just trying to kill Yami, or not kill Yami, but subdue him to use him for the Cliff-Off ritual. So durability should generally be the same durability to Yami as his attack potency, so multi-continental maybe, or planetary, as it always generally scales to your attack potency, your durability does, because your body would need to withstand the energy you are emitting. But, so, we got that over with, but there are ways that Yami can actually get way above this, and that is his Hack's ability of Dimension Slash, which does exactly what it says. It destroys dimensions. He first uses to break out of a spatial dimension and save his squad against Veto. Now, this was a item in the Night Sun using a spatial magic, but he would then use it to destroy the offensive spatial magic of Longris, which, according to all sources, erases space, and by some sources even stated to actually be existence erasure by Mereoleona in the video game. Now, Dimension Slash, even the non-monozone version, cut through this, which means it's a higher level of spatial erasing and manipulation. But he has a higher version of this when he specifically pairs it with Monozone, and the spell officially changes to Dimension Slash Equinox. When he does this, he's actually able to completely destroy Dorothy's glamour world. Now, Dorothy's glamour world is an infinite space, as she even states it to be endless, and says it because in her glamour world, anything is possible. Now, this has become one of the most controversial things that I have seen, and this is about Dorothy's glamour world. People will say, no, it's not endless, and if you just go over the dialogue here, You have Luck, who says, there's no border, it's endless. And then Magna says, huh? Luck, you moron, that's not even possible. So people will take this and say that, well, because of that, that means it's not endless. But guys, if you add in the full context here, you have Luck, who has essentially the best mana sensing in the series. He has a 5 out of 5 in the guidebook. He's been known for having the best mana sensing, and he says, there's no border, it's endless. Magna, who is not known for that, says, well, that's impossible. But if you have in the full dialogue, let's go here. Luck says, there's no border, it's endless. Magna says, huh, Luck, you moron, that's not even possible. Then Dorothy says, here in Glamour World, the impossible is possible. Which means that because it's her world that she created, she can make things actually possible that are impossible. So, unless if you can provide actual evidence that the world is not infinite, then it is infinite from here on out because of these statements. There's nothing that debunks it so far. So, Dorothy's Glamour World is an infinite dimension, and Yami destroyed it. So, Dorothy creates an infinite world, and that would mean that in that space, it would put her at universal, likely infinite 3D only for that specific spell. Now, Yami destroyed that space with Dimension Slash. He just destroyed it. So that puts him at infinite 3D or high universal, depending, for when he uses Dimension Slash. Now, this doesn't mean that every strike of his blade is universal. It means only Mana Zone, Dimension Slash, Equinox, that it can destroy it. It makes sense if he can destroy spatial magic, which erases space, but he destroyed Dorothy's Glamour World, and it broke out of it and did even more damage. And one way, and this is, again, kind of controversial, I wouldn't say it for sure, but you could maybe argue that that spell also has infinite speed because it destroyed an infinite-sized realm in finite time, though it's pretty debatable. I'm not really going to say it is, but it's probably as fast as attack because it's his most powerful. Either way, the spell should bypass durability to most opponents, though he shouldn't affect anybody with it who exists on a higher dimension or has universal plus durability. Now, Yami also has Death Thrust, which may or may not scale above Dimension Slash. Now, maybe not the strongest version as an Equinox, but maybe Death Thrust is above the base version of Dimension Slash, as the regular Dimension Slash is completely warped by the black hole from Dante, whereas Death Thrust plunges right past it and completely obliterates Dante's torso. Now, there's the argument of, oh, it's only faster, but still, the Dimension Slash is warped from a range, and yet this blows past its range and goes right through it. So it probably is way faster, but it might be stronger because it's within the range of what the black hole is supposed to affect, and yet it goes right through it and punches and destroys Dante's torso. Now, while it is heavily debated on whether or not if Death Thrust is just faster or stronger than Dimension Slash, actually, all the evidence really does point that it's not only faster, but it is stronger. Because, just listen to this quote from Yami when he realized his Dimension Slash wasn't strong enough against it. And this is right before he would level up and unlock Death Thrust. And this is what he's thinking to himself as he is basically failing to Dante's Singularity Black Hole. Whoa, wait, even if I cut him, he just regenerates. There's no point. It'll have to be something faster, tougher, an attack with power, or else. Now, this essentially proves that Death Thrust is above Dimension Slash in every single way, but it is important to note that Yami did not use Mana Zone Dimension Slash Equinox against Dante. It was just the regular Dimension Slash. So all we do know is that Death Thrust is above regular Dimension Slash. Don't necessarily know if it would be actually above Dimension Slash Equinox because he did not use that version of it. But still, this means that it's higher attack power, faster, tougher, everything is just way better than Dimension Slash. And also, Yami can seemingly spam it way more than Dimension Slash, so overall it is much better. But as for overall against Equinox, that will need to be seen in the near future. Yami also has cool abilities like Black Hole. So now, Black Hole has been shown to act like a black hole. It even sucks in light like a black hole, and it sucks in pretty much every single attack. Now, the only thing is with the Black Hole for when Yami uses it, is that it has a limit to how much mana or magic it can take in. So like, if the attacks are smaller based, it'll essentially keep sucking in and taking in the attack. But, like what happened when Yami fought Sharla, the attack of hers was too big to basically have the black hole fully absorb it. And it has been debated on whether or not it really was a black hole all this time, and really it might be. It actually acts like a black hole, and it can even absorb light, and Yami even thought that it would cancel out Dante's black hole singularity, but he couldn't do that as it would get rid of his defense against the area of effect gravity spell that Dante had in the area. So if Yami's stated to be black hole can take out another black hole from a gravity user, then it could be argued that it is actually a black hole. So to talk about this ability that I just talked about for Yami with one of his defenses, he combines his mana zone with the black hole to create a protection field around him that negates all spells in the area. So in many scenarios, if characters tried to nerf Yami, his Black Moon would negate it or weaken these abilities. So Yami is a very powerful character with a great blend of speed, skill, techniques, hacks, and power. He's a lot stronger than people think. A lot of people think. Now, of course, he is not unbeatable. I mean, he isn't even the strongest character in Black Clover anymore. He would have lost to 80% Dante if not for Ross's help, and now Dante is at 100% double power. And we know that even just a 1% increase in the double power is a phenomenal increase. So Yami would get absolutely fodderized by 100% Dante, and this is how strong he is. So let me know who you think might actually be stronger than Yami in the comments, and I'll possibly do a video on them in the future as well. Again, guys, let's shoot for 3,000 likes for Yami Sukehiro, for me. If this video somehow gets 5,000 likes, I'll do Yami versus Gojo very soon. That'd be really cool, as they're both like these super powerful characters that act as like senseis to our main characters. So that could be interesting. Also, both from popular series. Jujutsu Kaisen is way more popular now. But anyways, guys, let's shoot for that. Subscribe, turn on notifications. Let me know your thoughts down below. Yes, Yami is a beast, but let me know your thoughts. Hope you guys all have an amazing day. Plus...